Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome to Whack Comics Live. I'm here with Tyler as always, and we've got a very, very special guest today. We've got Hilary Jenkins, the colorist from Grouse Kings, Black Badge, King of Nowhere, Tartarus.
Yeah.
And Odyssey, and so much more awesome stuff. She's got more awesome stuff in the works that we're going to talk about coming up. But how are you going, Hilary?
I'm awesome. Thank you for having me.
No worries. I'm so beyond honored having you on. I'm gonna try and keep it together and ask you some questions and not get too excited because as you can see with all my comics up here, I'm a huge fan. I'm really a huge fan. I couldn't even fit all my single issues up here. I've got all of Grass Kings and Black Badge and single issues as well as the hardcovers. I double dipped because I'm a sucker like that. But and these hardcovers are just so beautiful too. I couldn't help myself. They're a little bit more on the expensive side down here in Australia. Like just for these 3 Black Badge ones, it cost me like $160 to get those 3. But I tell you now, it was worth every cent.
Wow.
Was worth it because I love it all so much. But we've got a giveaway coming up at the end of the video, everyone. So come in on the chat, say that you're here, let us know you're here, and Tyler's going to write your name down. There you go. All those signed comics that Hilary's been so lovely to sign, and Tyler also signed. Not this Tyler, Tyler Jenkins. We're gonna pick someone out at the end, and but with a randomizer and give them away. But yeah. So let's start with Grouse Kings, because Grouse Kings, I suppose, was like the first thing on the table here. Was Grouse Kings your first published work?
No, actually, it was way back. I worked for Scholastic and did like some children's comics.
Oh, wow.
Then took a break from that for a while. And then I did some work with Image kind of shadow line stuff and like a little ghosty appearance in Peter Panzerfaust. And then my really, getting really my feet wet was in Grass Kings.
Nice. That's a great place to start. I love Grass Kings. I picked it up because I love Matt Kint. I read just about everything that he publishes. So when I picked that up, and it was my first time seeing the creative team with Tyler and Hilary Jenkins, and I was like, this is amazing. I'm such a huge fan of all these watercolors and like just that style in particular, and so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be following these artists around wherever they go now, and to every book they jump on, I'm there because I need this in my life. But
so do you want to tell us like how you got started? I know you said you got started with Scholastic, but maybe specifically with Tyler, or how you guys met, or how you got into comics together.
Well, we met in art school like 17 years ago, I guess. Started a company, did corporate stuff. We've been doing art forever. And but then Tyler got rolling in comics, and he had a few books under his belt, and Grass Kings was it was a really important book for us. And he had done a lot of the coloring. He'd done all the painting, I think, for the first 5 or 6 issues. And there was kind of a point in the storyline where I think it was a backstory or something where he kind of was like, do you want to just give it a go? Do you want to try and play with the paint and step in for a minute? And I was happy to. I wanted to get going on that. And then I just kind of kept doing it because it just worked, and it worked for everybody, and I enjoyed it. So we just kept rolling, and it was really fun.
That's so funny. You said, do you just want to play with the paint? And then here you are.
I know. Well, that's kind of, at that point we were living out in the boonies in central Alberta, Canada. And it was like, I was already painting landscape stuff, just playing around. And this was just like a really lovely kind of smooth transition into that, because it was basically painting what we already were living in. So it was pretty fun.
I know we talked about it a little bit already, but you want to talk about how you do all of your work physically?
Yeah, it's kind of different that way. Like that's what Grass Kings was Tyler would ink them on watercolor paper, and then I would work directly onto his inks with watercolor. So he had to use waterproof ink so it wasn't getting all messy. But if I screwed up, which I don't think we ever had to redo a page, but if either one of us screwed up, you'd have to start again, because those pages that are in the book are the originals that were created with very little touching. But then when we finished Grass Kings, we went on to Black Badge, and we invented a whole new process for that coloring sort of setup. So I did it in gouache for Black Badge, which meant that that's a very opaque paint, and it knocked out all the lines. So we would print out a copy of Tyler's lines. I would paint on that and then put the two together on the computer and have it printed from that.
That's such a cool process.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was looking at I was saying before as well, I was looking at the website where your original art's available. I'm not going to tell anyone what ones are mine off, because someone will swoop in and steal them from me. But it's like a 2-for-1, you know, you're buying the one page and you're getting two pages, because one of them's inks and one of them's color, you know, so it's a bargain.
Totally.
So with Matt Kent, did you get, when you're working on Grass Kings and Black Badge, did you have much back and forth going through, like how was he with, like, because he's an artist himself, you know?
Yeah.
Did he have much back and forth with you on the pages as you were?
No, that was more Tyler's jam. Like, he was really running that, because Grass Kings was Tyler's kind of idea in the first place. So he came up with the concept and kind of a general kind of trajectory of it, and then him and Matt collaborated on it and had it rolling. But Matt didn't really. We talked about color loosely, but it was more Tyler's direction of, like, this is what I've kind of got started. Let's just keep rolling with it. And he was very hands off as well. It was very just like, go, do. And I did. So, because we understand each other in terms of what we're looking at creating, because we've been working together for so long. So it was pretty easy that way.
Nice. And I was reading at the back of on the notes in the back of King of Nowhere, if I remember right, it looked like Beam Studios approached Maxwell Prince about doing a series with you guys. Is that right?
Yeah.
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 Could you talk about that a little bit more? Because that's really cool.
It was like we had kind of a running thing with Boom, and we wanted to do more books with them, and I think they said something to Maxwell Prince, and they kind of coordinated sort of a collaborative thing with us and with him, and he was interested in working with us, and we were interested in working with him. So he had this like crazy whack idea that was something we kind of like. I enjoy doing things that are a little more surreal or kind of pushing what I can do. And so because of the story itself, it was asking for kind of an unusual approach in how I went about doing it, and how even Tyler went about doing it. So it took us quite a while to kind of figure out what that was going to look like. So I ended up using like stencils and pastels and watercolor and like coffee and just like random stuff, try and make it as crazy as it needed to be.
Oh, wow. Coffee. Who would have thought?
That was a trip in many ways. It was that book.
That's so good. Yeah, I love King of Nowhere. I love like you can see like the pastels when you're using like the outline for the panels, and I think that just really pops as well. You don't see that much on books, and just I love all the character designs in King of Nowhere too. There's some crazy characters.
Yeah. There's that girl with the horns. She's a girl. That's my girl.
And then the upside down face guy as well.
Yeah, he was fun to paint, because it was like you're always putting shadows into the chin, but when your head's upside down, you've got different stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of fish babies, and that was just such a weird combo. It was so much fun.
Awesome. Yeah, I can imagine, because like with Grass Kings and Black Badge, they were both pretty, rooted in real life, you know.
Yeah.
And then Grass King,
like, yeah, Grass Kings was like the land we lived in. And then we left that land and we kind of started a new life in Calgary. And it was like huge cataclysmic changes for us while we were doing Black Badge. And Black Badge was kind of based on like Canadian rail posters that were like kind of retro, but like silk screen flat color. They all kind of sat nice and close and flat together. So then you throw King of Nowhere in there and it was just like jumping off some kind of reality thing, like trip.
Yeah, so good. I love surrealism art as well. Salvador Dali is like one of my favorite artists, you know. So whenever stuff starts going weird and there's, you know, weird character designs, I'm all about it.
Totally.
Definitely going to get some of those King of Nowhere pages. But I've got your Instagram here. Let's open it up and have a bit of a flick through your. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we go. And there's the tag. So make sure everyone go follow Hilary for all these lovely paintings and updates on everything. And there's all the pages that you just sent out.
Yeah, that was last week. It was my babies. They're all gone.
Oh my God, that is insane.
That was like, I don't even know how many pounds of paper that was. That was a lot of paper. But that's several issues, you know, like that's King of Nowhere, all of King of Nowhere. That's a bit of Black Badge, a bit of all kinds of stuff. Nice.
And look, here's the comics that are going to be given away at the end of the stream. And this is something we were just talking about, Odyssey.
Yeah.
It's a webcomic you're doing as well.
The original of that is this.
Oh, that's cool.
It's amazing.
Oh, I love the original.
So it's like that's without lines, and then when you put the lines in, it kind of snaps it so that it's got the structure of the line work, but you still get the texture of the paint.
That's amazing. And there's the boat from the top.
Yeah, and there's the original for that one here.
So good.
I did a little bit of fancy dancing on that one for digital just because it needed a little bit of a massage, but it's all mostly paint.
The lines definitely make it look more comic booky, but I really like it without the lines.
Thanks. Yeah, that's kind of where my like landscape paintings come into play, is like that's without the lines. So that's like me practicing and playing for the comic work and for my own enjoyment without the lines.
How did you get into Odyssey?
I think it was Dan found me on Instagram, and we've just he just loved what I did, and we just kept going from there, and it was pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite things. I was talking to Hilary before we went live as well. This is one of my favorite things that Hilary does, is just goes around the countryside of Canada and pulls up and like, you know, I might paint this here mountain and then I'll take a photo, and now it just looks like a white square frame up against this. I love it so much. This is just so beautiful.
I'm so lucky to live in such an insanely amazing place that you don't have to go very far to find those gems. So that's like my mindful moments to go and sit and do that.
It's just so beautiful. Look at that. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that is insane. You would think it's just a frame.
Yeah.
With a cutout. No,
Right.
That's not even drawn. It looks amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, it gets pretty nasty out there. Like in the summer it's easy, but I'll still do it in the winter, and my paint's like freezing, and you've got like your hands are frozen. You gotta keep doing it.
That's commitment right there.
Yeah.
Some process work.
Yeah, that was King of Nowhere. So I was playing with some different lighting effects. So that was a lot of fun. Some monotone, duotones. So that was all in watercolor.
Yeah, the watercolor fits that book so well, and without giving away the ending makes it feel even more important. Just how you colored everything. How do I not give it away?
I know, right?
Well, some stuff happened in this town, and it makes it feel very bogged down, and and crazy. So I think that's the best way to put it. It just feels very crazy and very grounded at the same time somehow.
Yeah. Like that's kind of what watercolor is. It's like a study in fluid dynamics mixed with chemistry, mixed with like just letting it go. Because if you over control watercolor, you're just gonna end up with this muddy mess. So there's a lot of like just letting it be.
So this is the one that you've got going at the moment, right?
Yeah, that's what all this that's what those behind me are, and that's coming out Wednesday, which is going to be so cool. That's been such a dream project because I've been referencing like sulfur baths in Africa and like crazy color combinations on like Mars and other planets to try and make this real unreal world. So a lot of neons and really neat ways. Like there's so much fun in that book.
That's great. They're coming out this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to look for that. Did Tyler do the inks for that one?
No, that's Andrew, and he just like knocked it out. He's so good. They're doing like it's a kind of a different arc in Tartarus. It's still the same like characters, and it's like an offshoot sort of a storyline on a different planet. So it all fits in, but Andrew and I are kind of just stepping in for a period of issues, and then I'm assuming it'll just return back to the same team. But we were lucky to come on at that, so it was cool.
So how does that work since Andrew isn't in the same studio as you? How do you get that done?
So Andrew sends me the like files of his beautiful inks, and then I'll print them off on like paper and paint over that, and then scan it and put it back together.
This is a beautiful process video.
Yeah, this is so cool.
Fire and blood. It's like tops. If there's a whole book of Fire and Blood, I'd just paint the hell out of that.
When you first started painting that smoke, I thought it was a river. Just like very right in the start, and then it just like the texture came in. It's like, oh my god, that is so cool.
We've got keys to everything is asking if you're from out west, like Alberta or BC.
I'm from the Gulf Islands in Vancouver area, so I'm an ocean person, but I'm landlocked here on the prairies for right now. Have been for a long time, but yeah, I'm from the coast.
There you go. I love this Spider-Man. Can you please draw a Spider-Man book like yesterday? You and Tyler need to do that.
That would be cool. I don't know if that's Tyler's jam. He's not really. He likes doing more alternative, but that would be fun.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite character to color?
Yeah, probably. Like no, not specifically. I'm just like environments are my thing. Like
yeah, that's what I thought.
The lighting and the environments. So that's more like if I get to paint things that are ocean or sky or the reflective of the lighting, that's my characters is what I enjoy doing.
Yeah, you can see that you really do excel with these water. Like the reflection in the water is insane.
Thank you. That's my happy place is the water. So
I love the water too. I think more for me, the woods is more my happier place than the water. I think the water, like going out to the woods, I can just not think about anything and just chill and try and sketch a tree or something. But yeah, these are all just so great.
Yeah, that's just all around where I live, like kind of in around it. So it's just lucky. Yeah, that was the King of Nowhere as well, being sent out. That was a while ago.
So you can see that I've got the King of Nowhere there. You got, did you do that background separately?
That background's here.
Oh, there you go.
So that's just like watercolor, and I just like let it go. You put it upside down, you let the graphic pull it. Sometimes I'll throw like salt in there, or like whatever it needs, you know, like you can affect it with all kinds of things.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that. That is so cool.
Yeah, salt and anything absorbent or retractive affects the paint a lot. So you can get a little bit experimental with it.
I love this this video here.
Yeah, that was so much fun. Super fast. Don't work that fast.
So how long did this page take you?
Probably a couple hours. So those are like, I do like time lapse kind of speed things so that it's not so boring to watch. So it's,
Yeah, of course. You make it look so easy though. You make it look like anyone could pick up a brush and do this.
anyone can pick up a brush.
I suppose.
Technically, I guess. But,
Technically.
I've done watercolor before in school, and I don't know.
I can't make it like, you just make it look so neat and stuff. I don't know. I can't.
It's very much about like what you do first and second and third and fourth. And it's like how you, like what's wet and what's dry and how the process that you like play it out in.
For sure.
So it can really change the effects that you get. So I kind of usually take a few minutes ahead of time and just say, okay, where am I going with this? And then move from there.
Yeah, I love watching the process is so cool. Just again in that one, it just looks so flat, and then all of a sudden the textures start popping there at the end. It's like, wow, that is so cool.
Thanks. Yeah, no, it's so much fun to do those.
Have you ever drawn anything?
Yeah, there's some in here that I've drawn. There's I think there's one there with a woman's face. It's a little further down. If you go the other way, that way. There, yeah, that's kind of my jam. The black and white. That's me drawing just on my own for fun.
Oh, that's wow. That is amazing.
She's an amazing powerhouse simmerit. She's just a musician, and so. But yeah, if I don't usually end up drawing, but sometimes I get the feel to do it.
Here you are doing all these amazing paintings, and you can do that too.
Yeah, color is just like, it's all for me just about color and the lighting. And like when I was a kid, I spent a lot of time with my mentor who's a painter, and he was a landscape painter. So I learned a lot from him about how colors move and just how to use them. And that's kind of just where I'm comfortable. So it's lucky that it works out that I can color comics, because that makes sense to me.
Do you usually meet the writer when you're doing the book?
We'll chat. We'll have I'll sometimes talk, but usually most of my.
There you are.
There's Matt. He's such a good guy, and that was a while ago. But yeah, we enjoy working together so much. But usually I end up talking and working with the artist the most, because they're kind of the visual direction on the work.
I like seeing you set up here with your paints, your paintboard looking nice and dirty, huh?
Yeah. It's a disaster. It's like that's it. It all happens right there.
Nice. It's well used, well loved by the look of it.
Yeah, it's like math. You gotta, I know where all the pieces are. Yeah, that one in the snow was like the kids were just playing in the park, and I took like some time to just do that. The paint froze for that one, I'm pretty sure.
I live in Australia, so I don't and like a sunshine state as well, so we don't get like any snow here.
Well, so the coldest it gets?
The coldest it gets is probably like the coldest night I've probably had to deal with in my whole life is like 5 degrees Celsius, which is not even that cold,
Yeah, that's insane.
I'm a summer child for sure.
We get like minus 40.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I'm more definitely used to the heat. Like, summer gets pretty crazy here. You can get up to like 40 degrees, 45 degrees Celsius. I'm like, and it's like really humid too. So I think I would freeze if I went to the snow, but I'd absolutely love to go there because it just looks beautiful. You make it look really beautiful too.
The snow is fun because it's all about the shadows because it's all just light bouncing everywhere. So it's there's lots of going on.
This is insane.
Yeah, that's just the river by my house.
Nice.
So
you make everything by your house look so cool. Nothing by my house looks that cool.
Calgary's not that pretty, but I guess.
Can you talk about some of your upcoming projects then?
So I've got a book I'm working on that's still not released in terms of the name or anything, but I can tell you that it's with Tyler and it's with Matt. So it's us three together again.
Ooh, the gang is back. I'm so there.
And it's going to be really fun. It's a very new style for even Tyler, and because we just kind of did another reinvention of what we wanted it to look like. So it's a lot of fun, and it'll be really sweet. So that'll be fun when that kind of can come out. But other than that, I'm working on Tartarus, so that's coming out on Wednesday. And then there's Odyssey, and that one's kind of online right now, just a little bit. He's sort of putting that together, and that's done in gouache as well. And then there's a few other projects kind of here and there, but they're sort of slow, either picking up or kind of figuring themselves out. But those are kind of my mainstays for the time.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about the gouache? I know me and Lee last night, and I had already told you that we were talking about how do you even say that word. We tried for a solid couple minutes.
Yeah, I know. It's such a weird word. It's kind of from like the design world, or like they used to use it a lot in the design world, but it's also used a lot in like fine art and plein air, because plein air is what that is. When I go out into the wild and paint, it's like you're in the elements and you're being mindful about the space and its constant changes, and you're just kind of trying to take it down. So the gouache is really forgiving for that. This is what I use. So it's very forgiving because it's an acrylic base. So you can go over top of it several times and kind of beat it up a bit if you need to. But it also dries really quickly, and it's super opaque. So you can go over top of something that you maybe didn't like or you want to change, and it'll cover it up pretty much completely. So they're very kind of easy to work with, like wet. So that's mostly what I use, and that's what, like when I'm doing a page like this, that's what those colors will be, all in gouache.
And you think you might be the only one in comics using this?
I'm sure somebody else does. I think definitely I've seen Bill Sinkovich use it. Maybe I don't know if he uses it exclusively. He uses many things, but I'm not sure if I'm the only one. It's a weird method, so I don't know if anybody else does it this way, because it's kind
not many.
a lot of time, but I'm very like that. I enjoy the process, and I'm very Virgo, so that's okay. I'll just do it because it's going to be good when it's done. So it just takes time.
That's great. I love that you're putting it all in, just for that great outcome at the end. What do you prefer? Do you prefer gouache or watercolor?
They're both. I like having projects with both, that I'm doing one with Tyler, and then there's the gouache ones as well. So I'm not getting kind of complacent with one of the mediums because I'm using it more often. So I like having a combination of things going on, so I'm not getting bored or getting kind of set in a structure. So I'm always trying to make it more interesting than what I did if I didn't just did it normal. So yeah, I like both. I like just all of them. I mean, I've even done one in acrylic with clear glazes and weird kind of brush strokiness. I did a Jim Henson story with Tyler, and I did the whole thing in pastels. So
that's so cool.
Whatever. We've worked with sticks out of the fire pit sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just all whatever.
I love it.
Do you have anything you're reading right now?
Oh God, not so much comics. I read a bit of comics, but not. I'm more of a novel person. Like I have a massive stack of like I'm reading Slaughterhouse-5 and I'm rereading Fahrenheit 451 and a bunch of like other kind of things about like witches and female power, but that usually ends up going into what I'm working on because I haven't really read too many comics. Like I'm in it, but I usually go to books or audiobooks. I do a lot of audiobooks when I'm working because that makes it so that I don't overthink things. So I'm learning and doing as I'm making. So I'm not working it too hard. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I love audiobooks as well. I think I get a bit slack. There's like so many novels I want to read, but I'm like, I'll probably just listen to the audiobook instead. It's a bit easier,
so
you know?
Yeah, thank goodness for audiobooks. Like that's just such a great application to take it in another way. So
is there a like any writer or anything in particular that like would be a dream to work with for you?
I'd really love to do a book with Jeff Lemire because he's Canadian too.
Right, Jeff Lemire is my all-time favorite writer. Like,
right?
So if you teaming up with Jeff Lemire, I'd probably have a heart attack and die on the spot.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd love to work with him. That would be super. Like Matt's so much fun to work with too. So
yeah,
I'm very lucky. And Johnny's amazing. Love him. So
that's really exciting that you said Jeff Lemire. You know, Matt Kitt and Jeff Lemire work together a lot, so you could just be like, "Hey, Matt, like, introduce us," sort of thing.
I have to go east, maybe like the Toronto Connors. I don't know, but
what's your favorite thing that you've read from Lemire?
It's been a while. I'm trying to think. The one he did with the Tragically Hip was just incredible. That was amazing.
With who, sorry?
The Tragically Hip. He did like it was a story of a young boy from a reserve. I forget what it was called. It was like A Path Home or something. It's about a young boy, and it was devastating. So I think he wrote that I forget how he worked on that, but I knew he drew it. So it was amazing.
Oh yes, Secret Path with Gordon.
Yeah.
I've got the vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some powerful shit right there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've got the vinyl, and it's like a deluxe vinyl, and it comes with like the comic and like a bunch of random pages and stuff. I wasn't ready for how heavy it was going to be at all.
No, right? Like I love that heavy stuff. That's
same.
Totally.
Oh no, we lost her.
We lost her.
Hopefully she comes back.
That's the first time that's happened. Yeah, no.
Yeah. I did. I almost passed out.
If Hilary only knew how much you love Jeff Lemire when she said that. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I don't know why my computer died. I'm here.
That's all right.
I was just saying when you said Jeff Lemire, if you only knew how much Lee loves Jeff Lemire. I think he has every book he's ever written. So
yeah,
literally.
He's pretty amazing. And he's Canadian.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool.
As we were talking, our last creator interview was with Sheldon Buchelt, a fellow Canadian, and we were saying, is there much of a artist community in your part of Canada? He was saying,
yeah, like I'm surprised how many people who are in comics are in Calgary. I don't know why. It's just worked out that way. Like when there's the Calgary Con, it didn't happen this year, but usually every year it happens, and just local people that are there. But then always you have out of town guests too. But just even who's here in Calgary is surprising how many like really solid creators are here. So we've had some pretty great gatherings. It's nice.
That's great. It's always good when there's a good artist community in your town,
Yeah. No, it's great. There's a lot of that going on here. So the stores are good about it. They get you to come in and do signings sometimes.
So for someone as useless as I am with a paintbrush in my hand, because my hands are like ultra shaky and I'm just not that talented to begin with, what are some tips that you'd give to some like an aspiring artist?
It's like, the thing is like, it's gonna suck for a while. It's gonna be hard work for a while, and that's okay. Like, I've been drawing and doing this since I was like 13, I think. I went to London when I was 13, and I went to the National Gallery, and I just like sat down and I was like, this is it. I'm gonna do this now, and there's nothing else I'm gonna do. And I just kept doing that. And I was really bad for a long time, but you just have to keep showing up. And if you keep showing up, improvement and learning and evolution will happen. So it's like, always try and have good materials to use. That was like something I'm really grateful for, is my mom always made sure that I had really good quality materials so that you're not fighting against that in your learning. So especially in regards to watercolor, material is like the quality of the paints can really affect how frustrating it can be, and the quality of the paper. So
I'd love to see your beginning work to see what you say is really bad.
I have a sketchbook somewhere. I have to find it. It's in a box, but it's like,
I can do some watercolor and I can show you really bad.
yeah, it was a lot of like movie stars and like a lot of Romeo and Juliet and like, 13-year-old brain. So it was cheesy shit, but.
We've got someone in the chat asking if you're planning to visit Toronto anytime soon.
I haven't been there in a while, and I don't probably guess that I will be because of all this, COVID nonsense. But yeah, like the con there is amazing. Like the Fan Expo is wonderful. I've been to it at least once, and so it's a great town. Like it's got a lot going on. So I wish Vancouver had a bigger one though. They do have a bit, but not as big as Toronto has, because Vancouver's like my hometown. So it'd be neat to go and do that there.
Awesome. We got everyone saying great advice on the advice that you gave there. So hopefully someone can just keep sticking with it and get some better watercolors by the sound of it. What do you use? Like, I know you showed off before, but like what brand do you use in particular?
Yeah, like watercolors, I use a lot of M. Graham, like these guys. So they're really kind of like, I'll squirt them out on my palette and just let them dry and work from those. But otherwise I have like, this is like the kind of pile that I use, and I'll pull like a set to create a palette depending on the book, kind of depending on the tone. So, because every book I do has a different kind of vibe. So like Tartarus, I use a lot of neon, a lot of like, it was so much fun to go and like buy all the colors I don't usually get to buy, that are like acid green and magenta and things that are really hard to scan into the computer and get to be true. So like the colors on the page can sometimes be different than what shows up on the screen, which is sometimes a challenge, but I can adjust it. But yeah, watercolor, you want really good stuff if you can. There's some that have honey in them, and those are really lovely because they have a very nice consistency, and they won't go chalky as quickly. They have a good transparency to them. So Yarka is pretty inexpensive, and they're really good. I think they've got honey in them.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that they would put honey into water paint.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful because it's got like this kind of glow. Because honeys can be it's transparent, but it's got like a sort of a viscosity to it, and so the honey allows it to be kind of glow in a way. The colors just sit beautifully in it. It's not like a ton of honey. It's not like you're dealing with a sticky mess, but it does affect it in a good way.
When you're working digitally, do you find yourself wishing that you were not working digitally? Like,
yeah.
yeah, that was an immediately.
Yeah, it's like to me the difference between like I usually today I don't like I haven't actually painted yet today. That'll be like after I talk to you guys. But usually this I'm covered in paint usually because that's like I want to like touch it and like scratch it and move it. But when you're working on the computer, it's like it's like a rock on a stick and it's like way over there and you're like it's like you can't quite get it. That's how I feel at least. But and I have a good setup. I've got all the like things that I need for digital, but it just feels very like there's a veil, like there's a removal that I don't want as much.
That's awesome. Do you have any original pages that you could show off that you're allowed to show off right now?
These are like original Tartarus pages that are those are coming out tomorrow. So yep. Those are like let's see if I can find you. This is the cover. This is the cover for the issue that's coming out tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
That's so cool.
So this was a real trick because I hadn't worked with neons very much. And so I found out because this is all neon. And if you scan that into the computer, it becomes white because it's so reflective.
Oh, wow. So
in order to get that to work as the cover for that issue, I ended up having to take photos of it and go roundabout way. So it's a learning thing. But yeah, so that's tomorrow's or Wednesday's issue with a bit of, you'll notice that some of the tones and stuff have been adjusted a bit because that's just how it is with digital. But yeah, you can't see the lines. I knock them out intentionally so that you don't get doubling up when I scan it in and there's like, two jaw lines or you don't want to have like double eyeballs and stuff. So that's what an original would look like. And then there's still a lot of like cleaning to be done on the computer with as normal stuff would happen on edges. So like for, outside edges, the more edges there are, the more cleaning there is, but just like, it's more healing. That's like, I just heal it out. So you're still keeping the textures and stuff, but you're just kind of putting it back where it belongs.
They really need to do like a virgin variant of just that.
Oh,
and
yes,
so you can see them next to the finished product.
That'd be great.
That's a good idea. I might end up, maybe I'll post that tomorrow or the next day for just as like a, yay, it's coming out. So, because sometimes I'll do that. I'll have like a comparison of like before and after just to kind of see what the difference looks like. So, but maybe I'll do that on Instagram. I'll put it up and see the two together.
That's great, but I want to buy them. So I have them next to I want to buy it so I can see it. So put in that suggestion somewhere because I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Just putting it out there. Like, I know. Like, well, where's all the lines? There's like the eyeballs are missing, and you need the two pieces together. So
yeah, well, anyone would want to buy them together, or like a 1 in 10 incentive because that would be so cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. That's cool. And then there's like, because like the fun thing too when an artist like Andrew or even Tyler leaves like open space very intentionally and they're like, go play. I'm just like, thank you. So then I do like clouds or, whatever, because sky can be so emotive. And so you can, ratchet up the energy by putting certain colors in the sky. So it's nice when I get space to play in those areas.
It's awesome. We got everyone saying in the chat too that they'd love to see WitterCon one day, and I second that. If you ever get to the chance to come down to a convention in Australia, please do. When the world settles down and gets back to normal, obviously. I would have a lot of comics that I'd be dumping on your table, and I'd love to hang out with you in person at the con. It'd be great to meet you.
That'd be awesome. I'm totally down for that.
Awesome. So what do you reckon, everyone in the chat? Do you want to start doing this giveaway soon? We've got all these awesome comics that we're going to be giving away. Let us know if you want to be doing this giveaway. But we got a bit of exciting news as well. so Hilary has been nice enough and has been lovely enough, and I've commissioned her to color our logo, the thing you see up on the top right there. You're gonna see my shitty inks with some beautiful colors from Hilary behind them, and it's gonna be amazing. And we're gonna slap it on some merch, and you can get it. It's gonna be a Whack Comics Hilary Jenkins collaboration for the thing. It's amazing. I'm over the moon. I'm so over the moon that you'd put color to my little silly logo that I did there. You know, I'm beyond honored. So thank you so very much for that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I cannot wait until that's on some merch. When it's on some merch, I'll send you a shirt or a jumper or whatever you want. I'll send it your way.
Thank you.
When Lee messaged me last night telling me that he had asked you, and then he's like, I don't know how I get the gumption to ask this, but then you said yes. He's like, I need to go run or something. I'm so excited.
And I don't even like my knees hurt at the thought of running, but yesterday I just had that extra energy that I needed to get out. Are you good to do the screen share, Tyler? You got that?
Yep. I'm good. I got it up.
All right, let's see.
All right. I'm doing it now. All right, there we go.
Cool.
All right. So here's everyone's names that's been in the live chat today.
Awesome, exciting stuff. How many times are you doing it? How many times should we do it, Hilary?
Well, we got two different. There's 3 books for each, right? Like there's Black Badge, and then there's Grass King. So maybe twice, you think, or
Twice?
more than twice?
Yeah, let's do it. She
3
says twice, so that's what we'll do.
We're doing it.
Oh, what did I just do?
That was not the thing you're supposed to do.
Here it is.
There it is.
Awesome. This is working perfect. Oh, good. All right, come back to me.
Come back to you. All right. I'm good. Sorry, everyone. It's coming. Promise.
It's happening.
This worked perfect last time, so I'm glad it didn't this time. Because why would we want it to work 2 times in a row?
No, that can't be. That can't happen. If you're here in the chat too, and if we haven't got your name down, let us know. Have you got Animalia Comics in there?
Yeah, I have them in there.
Cool. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we would have everyone in there.
Yeah, if you haven't commented yet, this is your last chance. So yeah.
Let us know when you're good, Tyler.
Yep.
This is just building the suspense, you know.
We need a drum roll. I have drums. They're like right here. But I don't play them. So
You don't.
that's not that's Tyler, not me. But there's a whole set right here.
Nice. I play the drums also.
Oh
Yeah, I love the drums. Does it get pretty loud? Did you say it's in the same room as your studio?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a multi-room. There's guitars over there, and there's drums over here, and there's it's many things. We do many things.
Yeah, that's great. It's good to have a jam,
Yeah,
it's music.
It's great. Tyler had a band for a while. They're still sort of figuring stuff out, but it's been really, really good. It's a good thing to do.
What's the band called? Plug them.
It was called Grey Tongue, but with Curtis Weave and Ryan Ferrier, they're all like comic guys. and they did great stuff. Like they put on a show at like a slaughterhouse in Calgary. It was super awesome. But since then, Curtis has moved away, and so it's harder to get everybody together. So he's gonna maybe put some other people together.
I'm good, Lee. Whenever you're ready.
Oh, it's a different one now.
It's a different one now. It had to be because for some reason that one didn't work. So, all right, we'll do it 2 times.
I like the colors. You did it. That's great.
All right, Ninja Dairy.
Ninja
All right, this is it. This is the winner. Sarah. There you go, Sarah.
Congratulations, Sarah. She also won our 100 subscriber giveaway. So she's got that luck. Congratulations, Sarah.
Nicely done.
Oh, sorry. I tried to. I removed the wrong person from the stream. I tried to remove the. Yes, congratulations, Sarah. If you're in there.
Thanks.
And thank you so much for your time, Hilary. I'm over the moon with this chat. I think I've done okay with keeping it together. I was really nervous about Van going out the whole time, but I had my moments. But for the most of it, I think I kept it together, and I'm proud of myself. I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back. But thank you so much for making this interview what it is, and coming on and sharing your time and telling everyone what you've got going on and showing off your beautiful art. I couldn't thank you enough.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. It was so much fun to chat with you guys.
Awesome. So you want to give the people one last plug? Tell them where they can find you, tell them what you got coming out.
Yeah, Instagram's where I put all my stuff. So it's like I'll have things in my story. A lot of the time I'll like put pictures up of whatever's on my desk that's wet that I'm working on, just a corner of like a hint sneak peek like the other day. So that's where I kind of generally put all of what I'm up to on Instagram. And so then that's where you can find my next projects and paintings, because it's a bit of both.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We're gonna wrap it up. Anything you want to say, Tyler?
Nope. That's it. Go buy Tartarus tomorrow.
Yes,
That's
Wednesday. Get Tartarus. It's going to be amazing.
Awesome. And yes, and look out for that. I'm definitely looking out for that future project with you and Matt and Tyler, the trio back together. I cannot wait for that.
It's gonna be some heavy goodness, and it's a lot of fun. So that'll be on Instagram too. As soon as I can talk about it, it'll definitely be on there. So that'll be good.
Awesome. Look, Sarah just got in. She was on a phone call. She can't believe she won.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's wrap it up there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Hilary. See you later. See you later, everyone. We're going to be back tomorrow, same time tomorrow, talking some comics and doing some other fun stuff. See you later.
Thank you.